more on the purple stones and crystals and all kinds of rocks, because the earth is my rock. So today you're going to see a lot of rocks. I love the rocks and the light of the world and the Buddha that grounds me and the animals that I'm very, very concerned about, because we are talking about a very, very unique subject this morning. This is an African bowl from South Africa that was given to me. It's very, very beautiful. This is a gorgeous a giraffe glass with a rock candy that I made myself. And this is a licorice rock candy that I also use in my coffees. And this is me. Now, as you can see, there's always a lot of greenery around me. There's always a lot of forest and animals and lovable environmental friendly objects around me that keep me grounded. Born in the forest, I'm a forest baby. I was growing up on 10,000 acres, okay, on Lake Superior, and I am so foresty. My father was from the forest. My great-grand, 1830 Henry Rose Schoolcraft, he's an archaeologist and a New York senator who actually discovered part of the Mississippi River. So climate change for me is certainly the surroundings of a tapestry of my heart and soul, and it's hardly just entertainment. It's the reality that's taking a toll on people's mental health. Global warming continues to trend. Even the therapists are starting to have clients trickle in their offices expressing the multitude of fears on the subject, which is my earth. I can't breathe. I can't. I have to wear a mask when I'm riding my bike. I'm having all kinds of medical problems and breathing problems, asthma, and all kinds of things that I never had before. When I walk in a white suit in downtown Los Angeles and I go home, I take a wipe and off my face is totally black from the soot that has been carried through the air that I have to breathe when I'm coming from my office. It's just horrible and horrific. So this morning, these are my early morning topics. Jada Pinkett Smith, which is Will Smith's wife, daughter, and mother, has something called the Red Table Talk. Well, Sonia Fuderman, 187 Mama Pimp Mafia, has something called Rocks, Crystals, and Me, and Light of the World Talk. So you'll see a lot of things about crystals, rocks, lights of the world, a lighter energy, and to follow God's path of righteousness, because he took 2 by 2 Noah's Ark. It was all animals. He wanted to save them. He wanted to save the world. He wanted to save the earth, and he wanted a beautiful place for them to multiply in our seas and mountains and valleys. So right now we are in a challenge of feelings of helplessness, engaging in constructive self-talk, and build a personal sense of resilience and optimism in order to deal with the fears that may be disrupting everyday life. So even a therapist like Dr. Phil are reenacting this and helping patients deal with the everyday worry. Every day they're worried because they're sitting in these 4, 5, 6, 7 hours commute back and forth to work, and the hotter it is, the pollution just seems to to just thrive in it, and it doesn't move and everything is stagnant, and how are we supposed to live in a world that we can't breathe? And they're cutting down all the trees, and trees are our oxygen, and we are living in concrete jungles. So you know what, unless they reinforce a different sun and moon in a way for us to get fresh air, and the way that they are contaminating our seas and oceans, I don't know how we're supposed to do it. So basically it's a SOS. You know, we got to focus on what we can control and turn that into action, because therapists are trying to help patients deal with global warming. Every day people are walking into the therapy. What is a therapist supposed to do? A therapist's mindset is to help you with the problem that you're facing, but a therapist also has to go through that terrible climate change of hell to get to his office. So he's also suffering. So by the time he gets there, he's already in a state of anxiety. And how is he supposed to help you? He tries hard because he wants money, but you know, the proactive incentive is to give yourself a sense of control and ultimately hope. So you've got to pray by focusing on what you can control and make a positive difference in our community, our state, our nations, and our world, and forget the anxiety at the same time. You know, a psychotherapist can only help, but he's also suffering, because if he's got 100 patients coming in a week with all the same problem, pretty soon it's going to start affecting him too. He's only made of flesh and blood. He is not God. You know, we have to help these psychotherapists too. Don't you think when Dr. Phil goes home, he has a headache, he says, "Oh, lovely wife, my little wife, will you please rub my feet, rub my back, step on me, caress me?" I mean, these patients are driving me completely insane, but I'm trying to be normal in a fucked up world because I have to bring the money home. So if you notice that flipping on the news, it totally makes you physically stressed out. So you got to take a break from and distance yourself from watching every TV segment that airs, because with the headlines of the repetitive and it's almost like a regurgitating hell every time you put on your TV. So you gotta scan through stuff. You gotta take control over yourself. You gotta choose, and do not let this stuff consume you. What should be consuming you is the positive lifestyle, and the positive love, and the positive way, and the positive touch, and the positive soul to unite with oneself and to get with God. Now, this is just a little thing how therapists are dealing with anxiety around global warming. And this is part 2 of a series on global warming. The first one I put down today, and this is the second part. And create a plan. Spare cell phone energy. Get rid of it unless you need it. You know, whether it's over global warming or a cause of something that's entirely different, that is tangible and affecting your body, recognize that creating this worry produces a physical energy, a racing heart, palms sweating, a feeling like something is crawling on you, which will all lead up to physical manifestations of discomfort, and that's what's going to happen to you. You're going to get sweaty palms, you're going to get a racing heart. Exercise helps elevate the stress. Living in the present moment has associated with limiting stress, anxiety, and easing the symptoms of depression. But you know what? I'll tell you what you really have to do. It's not about being depressed. It's not about having panic attacks. It's not about anxiety. It's not about a racing heart. What it is, you got to get down on your hands and knees. You got to repent. And you got to say, "Dear God, I'm repenting of all my sins and everything that I've done on this earth up to now. I've hurt so many people. Please erase all my fears that I have inside of me, because this catastrophical, demonic feelings that I have inside me are fear. Please dissolve them right now. And anytime your mind wanders to the past, please erase it and let it go, because this extreme stress is killing me. And everything around me and that surrounds me is hurting me. Even the slightest noise outside brings me back into my terrible childhood. So you got to reframe negative thoughts into something more productive and positive. And base thoughts could be the greatest thing on earth if they're great thoughts. But if you keep reframing and going back into your childhood, because everybody has a terrible childhood. They've been traumatized, maybe not by their parents, in school, maybe bullying, maybe raped, maybe something happened. Everybody has trauma in their life of some sort, even if it's little or big, but it will affect you. And if you don't know how to get rid of it, then you are going to be walking anxiety, stressed out, pondering, with implications of mental illness, and global warming is certainly going to limit you and affect you, because if you don't set a timer, when the timer goes off, your next schedule that you will be engaging is in the hospital or the mental institution. Get with yourself, know yourself, and if you can't help yourself, go get help. That's what Dr. Phil's there for. Whether it's an illness that affects your heart or your leg or your brain, it's still an illness. So if climate change is affecting you, then what you got to do, you just got to get with the program, get with God, say a prayer, and good luck. Signing off right now from the purple stones of my heart, because I wear a purple heart on my sleeve.